Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Sunday school lesson. This week, we're going to talk about Joseph. It's part of the story Joseph and the Coat of Many Colors. Maybe you've heard of that one before. So before I read the story, let me ask you a question. Who here has any brothers or sisters? Yeah, raise your hand. I've got 2 sisters and a brother. Yeah. Do you ever get into arguments or get frustrated with them? Yeah, that's pretty normal. I know especially my younger sister and I, we used to fight a lot. In part because she's about 8 years younger than I am. And so when I was getting older, she was kind of a pest. She's a sweet sister. She and I get along really well now. But when we were young, we didn't always get along. So our story today, we're going to talk about a whole bunch of brothers who did something not very nice to their younger brother. They actually sold him to some other people who were from another country. Can you imagine if your brothers and sisters got together and sold one of you? Yeah. I mean, my sister and I fought, but we wouldn't have done that. Now, fortunately, the story's got a happy ending. So if you want to sit tight here for a minute, I've got my Bible out, and I'm going to read to you the story about Joseph and his brothers. Jacob lived with his family in a place called Canaan. He had many sons. One of Jacob's younger sons was named Joseph. Jacob spent more time with Joseph than with all his other sons. He even had a special coat made for Joseph. See, very fancy coat. It seemed to Joseph's brothers that their father loved Joseph more than he loved them. And that made them really sad and really angry. One night, Joseph had a dream. The next morning, he couldn't wait to tell everyone about it. I dreamed we were all in the field tying stems of grain together. Suddenly, I couldn't believe my eyes. Your grain made a circle around mine and then bent over. You were bowing down to me. Isn't that exciting? Exclaimed Joseph. Our grain did what? They laughed. Why do you think we would bow down to you like you were some kind of king? The brothers said angrily. Joseph hung his head and walked away slowly and sadly. The next night, Joseph had another dream. He excitedly told everyone about it in the morning. I had an even better dream last night. I looked up into the sky, and there I was. I saw the sun, the moon, and 11 stars bow down to me. Isn't that amazing? He said. This time his father was listening. Jacob was angry with Joseph and said, Why do you think your mother and I would stand next to your brothers and bow down to you as if you were a king? I don't like the strange dreams you are having. They will never come true. Now his brothers and his father were really mad at him. Luckily for Joseph, Jacob decided to send his brothers off with the sheep for a while. Later, Jacob sent Joseph to find out how Joseph's brothers were doing with the sheep. As he was getting near them, his brothers saw him coming. Here comes our dreaming brother. Let's get rid of him, they planned. They grabbed Joseph and threw him in a pit. Ouch. The rocks at the bottom of the pit were hard and sharp. God, why are they doing this to me? Prayed Joseph. A group of traders walked by on their way to Egypt. The brothers thought they'd get rid of Joseph once and for all. They sold Joseph to the traders and watched as he was taken away. That doesn't sound very good, does it? So here's the next part of the story. This part is called Pharaoh's Dreams. Joseph had many hard times. His brothers sold him to a group of traders. He was taken to Egypt, far away from his family, and was put into jail, even though he hadn't done anything wrong. Joseph thought, how long will I be here? I didn't break any laws. But I'm in jail, he sighed. At least I know God will help me. Many months later, two men who'd worked for the Pharaoh were put into the jail. One morning, Joseph overheard them talking. One man said, "What does it mean?" "I have no idea, but I hope I never have a dream like that again. It was terrible." The other man said, "Mine was too." The first man replied. Joseph asked, "What's wrong?" They answered, "We had weird dreams last night. We wonder what they mean." Joseph said, "Tell me your dreams. I can explain them." The men described them to Joseph. God helped Joseph explain their dreams to them. 2 years later, Joseph was still in jail. One of the men Joseph had helped was with the Pharaoh. Pharaoh told him, "I had a very scary dream last night. I wonder what it means." The man remembered Joseph and told Pharaoh about Joseph's way of explaining dreams. Pharaoh asked for Joseph to be brought to him. He told Joseph, "First I dreamed I was standing by the Nile River, and out come 7 healthy fat cows. They were eating grass, and then 7 ugly, sick, skinny cows came and ate the fat ones." The Pharaoh continued, "Then in another dream, 7 plump, healthy ears of corn grew on a cornstalk. Then 7 thin, rotten, unhealthy ears grew and ate the healthy ones." God helped Joseph, and Joseph could tell the Pharaoh what his dreams meant. They mean that for 7 years, Egypt will have plenty of food. Then there will be 7 years when there is not enough, and people will go hungry. The Pharaoh knew something had to be done. He put Joseph in charge of the whole country. Joseph saved food for 7 years, getting ready for the years when there would be a shortage of food. When there wasn't enough food in many countries, the people of Egypt had plenty. God had helped Joseph know what needed to be done. With God's help and love, Joseph did well, even through the worst of times. And then here's the last story about Joseph. Joseph helps his family. God always watched over Joseph. God spoke to Joseph in dreams, and Joseph used this knowledge to plan ahead. When the famine came, people from all over came to find food for their families because they heard that Joseph had saved up for 7 years. Even Joseph's brothers traveled to Egypt to find food. But it had been such a long time since they'd seen each other, the brothers didn't recognize Joseph. Joseph kept the secret of who he was from his brothers for a while, but soon he couldn't wait any longer. Joseph finally told them who he was. "I am your brother Joseph, who you sold to the Egyptian traders. Don't feel bad anymore, because God sent me ahead of you so that I could save people, including you. This famine is going to last for many years, so hurry back to our father and tell him that I am safe. I want you to bring your families and your children and all of your sheep and goats to live near me." Once Joseph's brothers saw who he was, they all hugged each other and cried. They jumped up and down with relief and joy. Joseph and his brothers talked and talked. The brothers talked from the time the sun came up to the time the sun went down. When the Pharaoh heard that Joseph's brothers had come, he told Joseph, "Tell them to go get everyone in your family. I will give them the best land in Egypt to call their own." Joseph gave his brothers wagons, food, and new clothes, and they went back to their father and told him the good news. Joseph is still alive. He is the ruler of all of Egypt. Everyone danced when they heard the news. "This is all I could ask for," Joseph's father said. "Now I will see my son again. Let's get moving." Joseph's family all moved to Egypt, but the brothers were worried. What if Joseph is still angry with us? We were so awful to him. What can we do? The brothers went to Joseph and said, "Here we are. We don't deserve to be your brothers anymore, so we will be your slaves." But Joseph said to them, "Don't be silly. I'm your brother no matter what. Even though you planned for something bad to happen to me, God turned it into something good." So along with your stuff this week, you've got your coloring page that's got Joseph and all his brothers. You also have a page because this story in a lot of ways is about love. And it's about the fact that even though we sometimes don't agree with our brothers and sisters, we still love them. And so it's really important that we show our love to the people that we love. So you have a sheet of hearts that you can color in and that you can decorate with or give to folks. And you also have a sign that says, hug me. It says, here's a hug you can keep for whenever you need to be reminded that I love you. Because, you know, sometimes we do and say things that aren't very lovable, don't we? And so it's good to know that our families will still love us, that they'll forgive us, and they'll still love us no matter what. That's an important thing to remember, isn't it? That's what Joseph had to remind his brothers, is that he forgave them, that he still loved them. And that word forgiveness is really important. That's an important idea. Because we all make mistakes and we all do things wrong. And sometimes we have to go ask someone for their forgiveness. We have to apologize and tell them we're sorry for what we did and ask for their forgiveness. And sometimes you're the person that's been hurt. And so someone might come to you and ask you to forgive them. Because sometimes people make hurtful choices. They do things that aren't very nice. So what do we do when we realize we've made someone sad, that we've hurt them? That's right, we apologize. We say we're sorry. But when someone comes to us and apologizes and asks for our forgiveness, we're supposed to give it, aren't we? And sometimes that's hard to do, because sometimes what someone said or did really hurts, and we're really upset. And it's okay to sometimes say, I'm not quite ready yet. I need another day or two. Or is it better to say, you're right. I accept your apology. Please don't do that again, because it really upsets me. It's fine to tell people that there are things that hurt your feelings. But it's also really important that when you do hurt someone's feelings or say something or do something mean, that you ask for forgiveness and you apologize and tell them that you're sorry. That's really important, isn't it? It's important to do that with our parents and with our brothers and sisters and with anybody that we care about. That's an important thing to do. So let's take a minute and let's say a prayer. Dear God, sometimes we make bad choices that hurt others. Help us always to be able to say we're sorry, to forgive other people, and to forgive ourselves. Remind us every day that we are loved, no matter what. Amen. So let's all remember that we're all connected. We all have people we love and care about. And all of us sometimes do and say the wrong things. And that it's really important to ask people to forgive us. Just like happened in the story of Joseph. That's really important. Because if he hadn't forgiven his brothers, he wouldn't have given them food when they came to Egypt, would he? But he did. Because he realized that even though they did something really mean, that God was able to do something really good. If Joseph hadn't been in Egypt, all those people would have gone hungry. But because he was there, God was able to do something wonderful with him. Just like God can do something wonderful with each of us. So I want you to remember that this week. When you color your pages, you put your Bible stories together. That forgiveness is really important. And it's something we all need to make sure we do. I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope you enjoyed the story. And I'll see you all again real soon. Bye-bye.